Hey, happy Wednesday. It's been a wild Wednesday for me. It's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and several other outlets. But I'm here today, again, as always, with Robert Karpelis, WE Creative _ish. Robert, it's been a whirlwind this Wednesday. How are you doing?
This is fun, guys. We're live. We're live, pal. Dom just I was like, it's 12 o'clock. Usually there's an email 15, 20 minutes before. Here's the rundown. Here's all the stuff we're going to talk about. We're ready to go. Nothing came through. And I'm going, oh, did I forget? Did I get fired? Is this how I'm finding out that I get a FedEx from Eric Bischoff sitting at my desk? You never know. Dom runs a multi-tenant, multinational media empire. So clearly our little show marginalized, and that's okay. But we are here. We're live. I got zero clue what it is that we're talking about today, so I'm going to be flying blind. But before we get there, we'll say hi to some of the folks joining us on this hectic episode. We got Antonio Santos, who said, "Happy Wednesday, my dudes." Travis Wadlow, good morning, Rumor and Innuendo. Dre Owens, fresh out the dentist, and first thing I do is pull up R&I. Hope you had a good time with Mr. Isaac Yankum. Andy Borders, morning, fellas. Let's hear about whose contracts are expiring now. It's insane.
It is. You know, like you heard the stuff about like what's going on with Chad Gable. It seems like they're making communication. I don't know. There's nothing confirmed. Everything like that. Then we just have Becky Lynch leaving. Not necessarily for good, but that's all right. Hey, I don't got to worry about that. But but yeah, we do got a lot to cover today. Still, the Dynamite is happening tonight. I wanted to touch upon Kevin Kelly.
Dynamite.
The Dynamite.
Thanks, Grandpa. You watching the Dynamite? You watching the Dynamite on television?
I got to use those rabbit ears to get the connection, though.
Well, good luck, because it's not gonna be there. Though I will say right at the top, and this is an unpaid plug, and I'm okay with that. Watch the first episode of Who Killed WCW. Our good friend Evan Husney and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who we're not good friends, but he
both
does
friends
like
of the show.
He likes my account, and that's really all that matters.
Hey,
it's insane to watch this show and not see the immediate parallels to AEW. And you have to feel for Eric Bischoff a little bit. I never thought I was going to be sympathetic to Mr. Bischoff.
Oh, your mic's echoing now, Robert.
Oh, you know what it is? Because I've got the two headphones on. I didn't have time to set the audio settings here, bud, because we were just racing to get on. Watch this. We're switching over to
there it is.
Hey, wow.
Now we're on the good mic.
Crystal clear now. Wow.
So, according to Joe A, breaking news: WCW is still dead.
What?
But you see what Bischoff was dealing with. That a net like TNT didn't want him, and he was hamstrung with trying to get funds, and he was fighting against this weird current. And you have Tony, who's created this company from scratch. He has the money. He is the Ted Turner in this situation. TNT, TBS, over the moon, happy to have live television programming for people to watch the Dynamite. And it's still like, they're listening to people on the inside who have the ear. Like, they're like, oh, Hogan was manipulating Bischoff, and to the detriment of a bunch of other talent. You see what's going on with the Young Bucks and the way that they hold sway over Tony Khan. It's very tough not to draw parallels and not to be Bischoff and think, boy, if I had that, what I could have done. And I think that's the same is true for Cornette. I think if Heyman was a commentator on wrestling, he would have the same insight on what Tony is doing with AEW. I think that's in part where my frustration comes from, having seen how the sausage is made and being like, dude, 80% of the problems that we all encountered, you don't have to deal with, and you're still kind of getting a lot of it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That being said, what's on Dynamite tonight?
Well, hey, what a setup!
I really know literally nothing, but all I know was I saw pictures that Swerve and Willow were at the premiere of the new.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's what I'm here for, to give you late breaking news.
Well, how about that? Well, Swerve is not taking on a dragon in this main event here, but he will be challenging Roderick Strong will be challenging him for the AEW World Championship after what has been kind of a haphazard storyline that occurred over Collision, apparently. We'll talk about that in a second. Hey, Robert, your favorite segment's back. TV Time with Chris Jericho. Going to be on tonight. We have.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes. MJF is making his return to television.
That's right. This is the return of MJF, coming hot off the heels of his big return this past Saturday or Sunday at the pay-per-view. Wait, no, it was a week prior. Way to strike while the iron is tepid. That's the key to good business, guys.
Then we have Mariah May taking on Saraya, which should have happened actually the week before, but didn't. And now in the main event, Robert, it's going to be the Blackpool Combat Club as Wheeler Utah, really unannounced till yesterday, makes his return to wrestling, teaming with Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Jon Moxley.
You got almost none of those names right, and that's why I love you.
Dang it.
It's all right. I did not know that. So this is maybe an indictment on me because Wheeler is a friend of mine. I didn't even realize he was back this week.
Oh, really?
I should ping Jimmy and Wheeler and be like, dude, good to see you back.
Wait, his name is Jimmy?
No, kayfabe that, kayfabe. It's also Claudio Castagnoli.
Thank you.
But, and who are they taking on? Are they taking on the Elite?
They're taking on some CMLL athletes.
Of course they are.
Yes, very notable. I've only heard of Magnus in the four that they're going against.
No, you're thinking of Nick Aldis.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's
Jr. and Rugido, and then Esfinge.
You okay?
No.
You having a stroke?
No, it's been a horrible morning.
Dom's having an aneurysm live on the air while trying to say the name of the talent who are competing here. We need Mike Tenay to step in and explain who these guys are.
Help me, Professor.
The Professor. The Excalibur before the mask.
Yes. What if it was been Mike Tenay all along under the mask?
No, he's not that tall.
Okay.
Also, no human being talks that fast. So just to recap, based on what you said, what they're promoting, nothing involving the Elite.
No.
The biggest, hottest single storyline that they have going, their words, not mine, the Bucks, the Scapegoat, and Kazuchika Okada, not announced for anything for Dynamite tonight. MJF is cutting a promo where he's now feuding with Roosh, because that's the dream feud we were hoping to see. Mariah May and Saraya happening because of a tweet. This is 2024 professional wrestling, and Swerve. So you said that there's a storyline between him and Roderick Strong.
Yes.
Here's all I know. Scott Chaplin, co-host on Working Stiff.
Great.
AEW stalwart. Talented comedian, slightly less talented wrestling commentator. I'm kidding. I love Scott. But he was like, something like really ridiculous happened with Roddy on Collision. I did not go back and look at it. We didn't talk about it. It didn't seem to register on the X algorithm. At no point was it showing me, here's what happened with Roderick Strong. So, Dom, enlighten me. Why the hell is this match happening?
Okay, so Will Ospreay took on, I can't remember. Oh, Kyle O'Reilly in the match. Oh, and obviously he won the Casino Royale Gauntlet thing.
Yes, he won a title.
So
$5 that you don't know what name of the title he won is.
That's right, international, I think. Right?
Is the international or continental? You sure?
Okada won the continental, and then Ospreay won the international.
Very good.
There we go. So then what happened is now he's facing Swerve at Forbidden Door, obviously. Well, the storyline is Roderick Strong came up to Christopher Daniels on Collision and was like, "Hey, I deserve to be I was supposed to be in that match, and I never got a shot to be in the match." And he's, instead of addressing Daniels further, he sees Tony Khan, who Daniels is supposed to be representing, goes to Tony Khan and says the same thing. When in all actuality, Robert, there's apparently was supposed to be 21 people in the gauntlet match. They're set up for that. but hence why the casino. So 21 blackjack.
Over-explain the joke. I love it.
So there we go. So that not only was Roderick one of them, but there should have been probably 10 others that have the same case that Roderick has. So he goes to Tony Khan. Tony Khan says it's a great idea to have that match, and it's happening on Dynamite. That is the setup for this bout.
So one of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to tell this story on television, and we're going to relive whatever nonsense this is, or it's just going to happen.
It's just going to happen.
And that's the beauty of this booking decision, because no matter what they do, I'm going to have what to gripe about. And that's the beauty of having your own show. You can't beat it. And guys, you know what you can't beat? Well, you actually can, but the key to doing it is take some Blue Chew. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Visit BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. Guys, if you are excited for the Dynamite tonight, your gal's going to be excited for the Dynamite that you're packing because of Blue Chew. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code RUMOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code RUMOR to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode of Rumor and Innuendo.
Robert, we mentioned the tepid return of MJF after missing a whole week. How do you get him hot again here? What do you do? If Tony Khan bent your ear for the Dynamite tonight, what would you do for Tony there? How would you help him out?
Oh, wow.
Help him with Dynamite, please.
No. Oh. How about that? No, fine. I think that what you need is MJF to feel like he is part of the show, that he is part of what is going on with the company. And if he's a babyface or if he's a heel, is that Max texting you right now?
Yeah, he said, "Shut up, Dominic. Please do not. Please silence your phone."
That sounds like MJF. I think that the big takeaway I had from the pay-per-view was that he did not at all acknowledge what was going on with the Elite. The assault on Tony Khan, the leadership struggle, none of it. When TK was his boy, that was kind of the story we were getting for a little bit. So as much as I hate the idea of Max getting sucked into a second terrible storyline after the Devil, I feel it's an option. There's also, I don't know if you're aware of this, Dom. Before Max left, there was this really talented big guy that had a problem with MJF, a warlord or something like that. Maybe
War Machine,
that guy. War Machine. That may have been it.
Yeah.
I know. The only advantage is that they've announced an MJF segment and a TV time segment, which means Max will not be feuding with Jericho. That is the one small little grain of salt of the earth that I can take to be positive and optimistic about this episode of Dynamite. Give me 2 seconds. I have to step out. I'll be right back.
That's A-okay. Yes. I was excited for MJF's return when it came to the fact that he had a different look. People were kind of critical of some of his promo, and I kind of understand that, but I liked he was just fired up. He's got a presence about him, and it really stands out in comparison to a lot of the AEW roster that you have. So him coming back in this form, I like it, but you also need to it's a missed opportunity to have him back when they had him last week when they were in California. Now you're here in Colorado, which is fine, but it's also a week past the point. You definitely, I don't know, Robert. He almost has to get involved with this main event storyline, but it's just like, is this another?
You can't get him involved. The problem with getting him involved in the main event storyline is you're coming up on a pay-per-view that is entirely predicated on AEW versus the world.
Right.
So damn it. I hate that I came up with an idea and I don't want to. All right. The only way to make this make sense, the only way to make this work is MJF is back on the Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to be the one to reestablish the idea that everybody in the world only cares about being AEW world champion. It doesn't matter the power struggle of the elite. It doesn't matter about if you're joining House of Black or not. It is who holds the gold, holds the power. And he's going to concede to the fact that, all right, it is Ospreay versus Swerve. I need to build my resume to be the guy. And because we're having this match where the forbidden door is open, I will challenge the best in the world to prove that I am better than you, and you know it.
That's it. You got.
And as a guy who's written MJF promos before, I could probably do better in terms of the verbiage, but I think that's the messaging. And then you get a match with him against fill in the blank guy that we're going to pretend that we know who it is, absent a video package.
Yes. I'm always looking forward. And while you were gone for that second, I said how much he elevates the AEW product. I think just he stands above the rest when it comes to the promos, and it makes a significant difference of what you see on AEW Dynamite. I think, and it's invaluable for what.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where are we going next?
Yes. So
a lot of stuff to cover. I'm saying, looking at Kevin Kelly comments on AEW.
Yes. Here we go. So Kevin Kelly, that was my next thing. During a virtual signing, he was talked about how he was treated at AEW. He said, "My mental health was not good at the time from when this began, and it was taking a toll on my marriage, on my family, on me personally, physically, and mentally." AEW's stance was, "Really don't understand, and we don't care." This is according to Kevin Kelly. He said, "So whatever, they'll get theirs. I set up a psychiatrist appointment on Thursday because we were taping TV that next day, and then they fired me on Wednesday. So you guys really care about the people that you employ." So he also just commented that he wouldn't, he's never been treated the way AEW treated him, basically. And so it's just, I don't know, just reflective of Kevin Kelly. He's a great announcer and everything like that. He had some tension with Ian Riccoboni, and he addressed some of that too on there, saying that they weren't communicating very well. Ian got upset or allegedly about wearing a cowboy hat, and Kevin Kelly said, "Don't do that because JR is going to be with you. And even if he says that's okay, it's not okay to do that because he'll tell you it is, but it isn't." And so that's kind of where it is. I don't know. I think we talked about this when it happened, when Kevin Kelly got fired.
Mm-hmm. We did. I'm always of two minds. I've always liked Kevin. People that worked with him at WWE always had amazing things to say about him. There were audio clips that existed when he would do outtakes while he was voicing over like superstars or metal or whatever that are legendary and hilarious within the halls of Stamford, Connecticut. So many things I can't say on air, but absolutely hilarious and hysterical. And I've been friendly with Kevin for a number of years. It feels like whatever was going on at that point in time with him and Ian that spilled out publicly during a pay-per-view was not a great look for the organization. It was something around that movie that people were saying was a QAnon sponsored film about combating child sex trafficking. It was a whole thing.
Whole ball of wax.
But here's the deal. If Kevin was really dealing with serious mental health complications at that point in time and was vocal with his employer about what his situation was, and he felt they were not receptive to it, they were just, "Hey, sorry, too bad, so sad, you're being treated like cattle," that's a really lousy way to feel by an employer. I'm sure AEW has their stance and their position on it. That has not been the widespread comments on AEW. There's been a lot of people who criticize a lot of things, lack of organization and all that within the AEW world. But caring about someone's physical or mental health has always been something that they've prided themselves on. So I'll be curious to see if Tony tackles this issue.
Yeah, and you think about talent that they have, like an Eddie Kingston, who Hangman Page, several other talents.
Well, that Eddie Kingston article that he wrote, where he was
right,
fully transparent, was, I mean, really impressive, really, really well done. They've never shied away from it. WWE for a while did, in part because, hey, we're publicly traded. We don't want to make it seem like our wrestlers are sad circus animals. But at the same time, they were also worried about, lawsuits.
Yes.
You had people coming out left and right saying, CTE, and you guys knew about this. And part of my mental distress and health was getting hit in the head with a chair 400 times for you guys. So it's an unfortunate situation. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where we're going next, Dom. What's our next gimmick?
Yeah, well, we had a little bit of a crossover last night on NXT as Jordynne Grace won her singles match on NXT, wore NXT NA on her back. But Swerve Strickland, AEW World Champion, happened to talk on the Bootleg Kev show yet again about an AEW WWE crossover. If there's ever a time it could happen, now is more likely than it's ever been. I don't think either person, Tony Khan or Triple H he's referring to, is opposed. I don't think there's ever been a time that's more likely than now. Robert, we know AEW would benefit from the crossover of WWE, but would WWE benefit from this?
Sorry, I was dealing with a hangnail, which is great when you realize you're on video. I'm so used to do the other show. Anyway, I don't think Tony Khan's going to be the one that would be open to it. I think part of the challenge that you face is when WWE works with TNA or they're working with one of the European companies, it's kind of like we're the big brother and you're the little brother and we're throwing you a bone. So Hunter would be more than happy to say, hey, we'll take some of your guys and let them on there in the way that they did with like ECW back in '96, but they're never going to be even.
Yeah,
the WWE is never going to allow them to get an even footing. And right now, there would be no benefit to the WWE for presenting them like that. But if they want to make it look like all roads lead to Stamford, then sure, you guys want to bring some talent. We'll show you how to use your talent properly. Look what we're doing with Ethan Page. Look what we're doing with Lexis King. Look what we're doing with Jade Cargill. Look what we're going to do with Ricky Starks. Look what that Cody Rhodes kid, that guy CM Punk you threw out on the curb. He's doing pretty okay for us.
Only top seller in merch. That's it.
It doesn't mean anything. You didn't need that money, Tony. You're better off without it. You don't need the stress. You don't need the headaches. Speaking of not needing the money, or however this works, AEW Fight Forever is the free game if you are a PlayStation Plus yeah. Of which apparently I still am. I didn't realize.
Have you played that game?
AEW Fight Forever?
Yeah.
Yes.
How is it? I've never played it.
So I loved WWF No Mercy.
Yes.
That was my like WWF 2000, WWF No Mercy. Those were my games. The best thing to come out of WCW was like WCW NWO Revenge and those things where they figured out the controls. And I was really excited when they were like, Fight Forever is literally just, we're going to build a new No Mercy. WWE 2K24, really fun game, really interesting game. Takes a lot to learn those controls and figure out what to do. But man, No Mercy, like, it's still playable to this day.
Yes.
Fight Forever, less successful. And it took a very long time. It cost a lot of money. It was highly touted. The roster didn't make a lot of sense when they first rolled that out, because you were missing a lot of people, and there were a lot of people who were no longer in the company who were front and center, and they were focused on mini game, like everything other than just like the core of wrestling. And it was not a fun, constantly playable. I think I played it maybe 3 or 4 times. I'm not a big video game guy now, but it's like, just sitting trying, I'm like, all right, it's kind of fun that I get to play as MJF for a minute, but other than that, nah. So now that people can download it for free, or free with this subscription in this world of however the kids do the video gaming. I'm a Tetris guy myself. But I think once they get it for free and they realize how clunky this game is, it's not going to do them any favors.
No.
It's like, oh, Madam Web tanked in theaters. Well, now it's on Netflix, and now everybody can see how terrible it is. Enjoy.
Look, Take a look, everyone.
Or Argyle with John Cena.
Hey, so we have one more topic. We'll get to it. It's not a big deal.
They're all big deals. Way to sell the show, Dom.
I think what's a big deal is talking a little No Mercy. Did you have a creator wrestler that you made and that you stuck with? Is there one creator wrestler that you put through the No Mercy career mode? Anything like that? Did you do anything like that, Robert? What was your go-to with No Mercy in that regard?
I would go on the internet. The internet. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
And there would be people who would create, like, wrestlers that are not in the game, like WCW wrestlers or ECW wrestlers, or later on another Ring of Honor wrestlers. And I would sit and create those characters based on that and use their move sets. And it was a hell of a lot of fun. And it made the game continuously just updated and new. And I think that was kind of the additional playability. I would play through with a bunch of the different wrestlers at the time, and it was great. And it was sort of at peak fandom. It's high school. You're sitting around with your buddies, and you beat the hell out of each other, because I was not very good at GoldenEye.
Oh, no, I was awful at GoldenEye.
I was not good at GoldenEye. Couldn't figure out the Mario Kart gimmick very well.
I sucked at that, too.
My video game worlds were literally, if it was a wrestling game, that was the platform I was going to buy.
Yep. And
then whatever the Madden game was.
Yes. I was the 2K.
Or Tiger Woods Golf.
Tiger Woods. Yeah, I didn't play Tiger Woods.
Or there used to be a great MLB game. I think it was like 2003 or whatever.
MVP Baseball. There's MVP Baseball 2003,
That's it.
2004. Mm-hmm. Those were it. All right. Hey, what
Great
we'll end it with here. Oh, yes. Best video game soundtracks there were the MVP baseball games. 100%, I agree.
Little hot heat while you're playing baseball.
Yes. Oh, man, you owe me an IOU, Robert, just so you know.
That would be the song.
That would be it. What's
crazy is I saw Hot Heat in concert, and they didn't play that song.
What?
I was pissed.
That's ridiculous.
Saw them with the Editors. The bass player of the Editors, by the way, huge wrestling fan.
No way.
Which I didn't know until well after the fact. But friend of the show, Brian Maxwell Mann, has interviewed him numerous times.
I could name a good deal of that soundtrack.
I'm going to go listen to some iRock Z right now.
Yes. There was Stereogram, Walkie Talkie Man. There was
Dom, we're not going down this weird, like, we're not doing the Forrest Gump, but instead of shrimp, we're naming songs from the MVP baseball. We have like no time left. Let's get to it. Bandages. Okay. Wrestling old heel just threw out there. That'll be stuck in my head the rest of the day.
I don't know that one. Bandages.
It's another Hot Heat song.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Hey, there was a QR code takeover after Raw Talk we didn't get to cover yesterday, Robert.
Oh no.
Yes. And a figure apparently said this: I have shown you signs and wonders, yet you do not believe. I offer you hope, freedom from the pit. You spit in my face, mock my family, question my timing. One last chance, an opportunity to repent. But my patience runs thin. There is a reckoning coming. Your belief is indifferent. It is inevitable. You will learn you are finite, and you shall all behold what we have become. So there you go, Robert. Very ominous. Uncle Howdy stuff, I think, huh?
Kneel before Zod.
That's it.
That's the vibe I'm getting there.
You're not sold on it,
Dom,
then? You're not.
What other vibe? No, I think this is going to be a disaster.
You do?
I think this is going to be what killed WWE.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, if WWE does die, guys, if it does die, you can check out rvdtv.com. I'm on there. Rob Van Dam is on there, more importantly, and we talk about
way to sell the show. I'm on there, and also one of the all-time greats in the history of wrestling, Rob Van Dam. Come primarily for me, Dominic D'Angelo, who's dressed like he's playing for Oregon football.
Look at this pit stains. I'm sweating like a beast.
What is wrong with you? It's a video medium, dude. There are people watching this while they're trying to eat their lunch. They don't want to see that. This is not a Factor plug, by the way. Since the spring Factor is over, they'll be back. They all come back, and I'm excited.
They'll all come back to here.
All roads lead to Rumor and Innuendo. Dom's got that every Monday at 4:20 p.m. RVDTV.com. He's also got Straight Talk with the Boss with Magnum
Yes.
TA and Greg Gagne, which this week they're talking about. I'm guessing at some point a Vern Gagne anecdote.
Gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It's inevitable. And then there's Working Stiff, which drops every Friday unless we post it earlier with myself, Dan St. Germain, and Scott Chaplin, and Mike Lawrence if he's around. 3 very talented comedians. This week we're going to be talking the Mount Rushmore of carnies, as well as what celebrities have not been involved in wrestling that should, and then probably talking all the exciting things in the world of wrestling. But that's what you and I do, Mr. D'Angelo, every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern here. On a variety of platforms, including on the WW Creative _ish X account, the SE Scoops X account, the Rumor and Innuendo X account, the Podcast Heat X account. Podcast Heat is who makes this show possible, as well as on YouTube, on Rumor and Innuendo, ad-free shows, and Working Stiff. So on behalf of the Steel City Madman himself, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpelis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Guys, enjoy the Dynamite.